This right here is the newly announced solar, that's the name of the company, Eclipse. And you know what? Let's begin with the aesthetics of this bike. It's unique, very Tron-esque, if you want my take on it. I don't think it's bad. It's definitely not traditional. The website does claim that the battery is removable, although based off of what I've seen, it is not like a hot swappable battery. I think you need like an actual tool to access the battery and ultimately remove it if that's something you want to do. So a bit of a drawback there. But the rest of the bike is a more traditional off-road dirt bike design. Of course, it is full suspension. We have KKE shocks up front. As far as I can tell, very similar to the likes of the Sur-Ron, the Teleria, all that competition. And we have a single monoshock in the rear. Speaking of the rear, that swing arm is weird looking. There is a legit reason why it's shaped like that, because as you can see, the motor is integrated in the rear swing arm close to the pivot point. Most dirt bikes, the motor and the battery are in the middle, the guts of the bike. This has it in the swing arm. This is actually the same approach. Oh, that was a huge pothole. This is actually the same approach that the new Super 73 CX-1 is taking. Their mid-drive motor is also placed in the swing arm. Technically, I think this means the motor is less protected, right, because it's not fully suspended. The benefit of this design is actually twofold, depending on what alternative path you take. So the Sur-Ron, for example, they have a primary belt drive that brings the drivetrain from the motor to that rear swing arm. Okay, this road is getting a little bit hectic for a bike. I'm going to do something you guys all hate and be very respectful on the sidewalk because I don't like the looks of that. Oh, okay, this is not much better. Yeah, so the Sur-Ron has a primary, secondary drive system, adds complexity. People always complain about it. And the Teleria, very similar, but they use a gearbox instead as that primary linkage. And the other way dirt bikes get around this is just by having one long chain that spans the pivot point. And that has its own set of disadvantages, namely a lot of chain stretch and adjusting that you need to do in that scenario. So hopefully that helps to shed some light on the unique design choices here. Getting into the actual specs now, that battery is 72 volts. I like that a lot. This is now the second dirt bike I'm aware of that's 72 volts straight out of the box. The other one being from Saunders, their newly announced dirt bike. Recently made a video on it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out. I'll leave it linked on the display right now. So yeah, it's 72 volts and the capacity is 45 amp hours. Awesome battery, absolutely no complaints there, aside from the whole hot swappable functionality. When it comes to e-bikes and electric motorcycles in general, hot swappability is something they should all have in my view. The motor is rated at a peak power of 8 kilowatts, which puts it squarely against the new Teleria Sting R. Pretty interesting comparison. Although somewhat unfortunately for this bike, the Solar Eclipse, the price tag is not the same. This bike is $6,000. So not terrible, but the Teleria Sting R is $4,500. So there is a discrepancy there. And that means that the Eclipse, in comparison to the rest of the market, names like the Sur-Ron, the Teleria, this bike is supposed to be more premium. And I guess that premium factor comes into play in terms of the aesthetics. It is IPX67 waterproof rating, so it's pretty durable in that aspect. I also noticed that the display is very nice on this bike. It's a large LCD display, and it shows you actually useful information like the amps you're pulling and the current voltage of your battery. What else makes this bike premium? It's definitely not the power, as again, 8 kilowatts, same as the new Teleria. It does have a fancy keychain that allows you to like remote lock the bike. So, I mean, there's that. So I'm on the website right now looking for more features that make this bike different. And I think this is potentially one of them. So they indicate here, I'll just go ahead and read it. It says the Eclipse comes equipped with safety features including front, rear turn signals that seamlessly blend into the bike's design. Okay, cool marketing. Additionally, the Eclipse includes running and main beam lights required for road legal bikes, said to be road legal by summer 2023. So it looks like based off of that, this bike, unlike many others, can be registered. So that's definitely a positive. Yeah, so definitely let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this new dirt bike, how you think it fits into the market. Is it compelling? Were you about to buy the Teleria and all of a sudden now you're going to buy this instead? Let us know in the comments. I will say I'm a little salty that this company did not invite me to review this bike. I noticed that when the bike was officially announced, they lifted the embargo and all of a sudden YouTube was flooded with different review videos. And guess what? Yours truly was completely left in the dark about this. I knew nothing about this bike. Wasn't invited to review it, even though lots of other YouTubers were. And this is not the first time this has ever happened. A couple months ago when the Rev 1 Up was announced, same thing. Tons of people had this bike and reviewed it on day one, including channels that get, in some cases, a lot less views than me. Not saying they don't deserve the bike, I'm just saying that, why wasn't I invited? Now, I know you guys don't care about this, it just sounds like I'm complaining about not getting free bikes. But ultimately what it means for you guys is I can't review these products and I don't have them to tell you guys how it actually is, give you my valued perspective on it. Yeah, so I have no idea how to get on these mailing lists. Who do I have to call to be in the know? I mean, some companies do reach out, mostly kind of small, no-name Chinese brands. I do get a lot of emails from them. But when it comes to these big brands that you guys actually care about, nada. Okay, but back on topic, that's the new Solar Eclipse. Promising electric dirt bike. It seems like every week we have a new electric dirt bike hitting the market. The design, I can't honestly say whether or not I like it or dislike it. I like the peak power of 8 kilowatts, the 72 volt battery, 45 amp hours. I think that's all great. But the price tag of 6,000 bucks while the new Teleria Sting R exists makes it kind of iffy for me. Now the next video I'm working on for this channel is going to be a complete, comprehensive buying guide of all the best mid-drive e-bikes in the market. And do you guys want to see me sprinkle in some of these dirt bikes as well? Because I mean, technically they're mid-drives. Or do you view mid-drive e-bikes and these dirt bikes as completely separate things? Even though often, let's be real, depending on how you ride them, they can be overlapping in a lot of ways. I'll make sure to read the comments and allow you guys to influence me because I'm still researching that video. And if there's a mid-drive e-bike that you want to see included, let me know as well. But until that video, thanks for watching, guys. I truly appreciate your time. If you enjoyed, a like, subscribe, helps out the channel immensely. And I'll see you in the next one.